It's a two-part medical assembly. This machine puts a small round filter into a plastic housing and bonds it. We've already produced this machine for the customer, and they've had it running for 7 years, and they find their production levels have increased, so they wanted 2 more. So a customer came to us and they wanted a 2-part medical assembly machine. Very simple assembly, but they wanted high volume. This does about 270, 280 parts a minute. It feeds both parts with a twin servo in feed, pocketed wheel. It dispenses a solvent and then uses 2 different vision cameras to check the quality of the assembly, and then accepts and counts out several pieces in a bin, and then shuttles the bins around and puts new bins in place. So it essentially does the whole assembly and counting. So we developed the concept and prototyped small sections of it to show the customer exactly how we were going to do it. This machine actually has production statistics built right into the touchscreen. So you can see how many errors you've had, how many cycles it's run, what your part count is. So it helps you watchdog what's going on with the machine. This is actually the first station on the machine. This is the housing feed. These are the housings, all right? And they feed from bowl copper down to the vibratory bowl, down the linear track, vibrating linear track, into this pocketed feed wheel. We insert the empty housing into the 4 holes in the main fixture on the index dial. That's the main dial that indexes. Now when I start this machine, you're going to have all the feeders are going to come up, and they're going to come up to get the stack pressure up on all the tracks. This particular machine has flammable gases. As soon as the sensor up at the top of the exhaust knows that there's airflow, it'll allow us to start the machine. That's the servo housing move, and it's inserting the housing into the index dial fixture. You can see the cam follower with the floor, and the fixture comes around to the filter insertion. We do the same thing, only the filter in this case was special. The part has a flat end on one end and a ball end on the other, because the only way the vibratory bowl feeder could feed it would be with flat end down. It was a very custom situation where, as the pocketed wheel picks up the part, run it through a cam track, and then it has a special cam cover that pushes the top over on its side. We have a cam that stands it back up, so we turn it 180 degrees in the pocketed wheel as we're feeding it to the insertion point. It does it at 270, 280 parts a minute. It's a constant flow. And then we index over, and then we check to make sure that the lower housing's there before we put the filter in. And then we bring it over to a final press station, which seats the filter down to the full depth. Then we index it over to a solvent dispense system. It has special dispense heads on with micrometer adjustments for very accurate dispense. And then we index over to a side camera vision, which actually looks through the side of the part to make sure that the filter is inserted properly, it's not broken up, it's not destroyed, there's no issues, it's perfect. Then it indexes it over to a top vision camera. We look for full concentration of the solvent. There is a baffle in the accumulation chute, so when the bin gets full, flap closes and it catches it in the chute, and it creates a buffer. The door will open and it'll allow the buffered parts to go into the bin below. So the machine never shut off during changing the bins. It saves a lot of time and keeps the machine running, gives you a lot of uptime. This is the ventilation enclosure. So the 2-part assembly machine assembles a product with a solvent, and the solvent off-gases some flammable vapors. So this is a ventilation chamber, and there is a connection that's going to be connected to a vent on the top to remove air from this constantly. And this goes into a clean room. And there's HEPA filters on the bottom on each side that they draw in the new air. It has 3 doors on this side, and it has 2 doors on this side. You can open it on either side, and you can roll these carts in. All these carts, they're separate on casters. Once it gets running and the customer gets used to it, It just runs and runs and runs and runs. We try to build machinery that's economical, yet good quality. A lot of people that actually approach us and not really sure how to solve their problem, they explain their problems out, and then we sort through it, and sometimes we actually visit their facility to see if what they're exactly explaining and to make sure that we can nail it. And sometimes we find other things that they didn't tell us, and that might be causing another issue, or we might be able to do it more efficiently because we see something that in the process that we can utilize. But it all starts with taking the first step. And the first step is to give us a call, because the consultations are free.
We're here to build you the best automation machine we can.
We want to solve your problem.